were you in?
I actually was one of those Protoss newbies who
It's
went
all
straight
right.
through. I think I got like to the low C- level with Protoss and stuck there. Basically because it's the same issue I have now where I was like, I don't have a lot of time to play, and Protoss is definitely the easier race to play.
It's all good.
I
On
got
Protoss too, I understand. You know, it's actually funny because I remember like when I was listening to the cast. Actually, let's go into the game. Let's not go all old man style, reminiscing and
Yeah.
stuff. So
I did play a decent amount of Terran though, and I did hang out with a lot of TVTers. Specifically, I liked chatting with Skew a bit about TVT and those other guys.
Very nice.
So LZ, and also you'd think I would have gotten more Zerg information from guys like LZ Gamer and Machine, but no. Sorry. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and get going.
All right, let's go. Game 4 between Scan and Heme. Heme on the verge of elimination. Will it be a clean sweep, or will Heme pull it back? Let's see. Game 4, starting now. And in the top position as the Brown Terran, we do have Heme, currently down 0-3 against the monster Scan. Let's see what he can do here on Othello against Scan, who will be the yellow Terran in the 6 o'clock position.
Hemi calling do you play or sleep every day only? Are you basically saying, what, you just play all the time? That's what you do? That's it? That's all you're doing? You're like an Idra clone, even though you're not a pro, not getting paid for it? Anyway, this is Othello, which actually I think is one of the best TVT maps, because you have the high ridges for some entertaining drops. You have a lot of siege tank positionings. You really have to... Dropships are vital, absolutely vital in this map. And I know I've said that every single map thus far, but it's true. TVT, dropships are key, but particularly on Othello, because if you look above the third, if you reveal the entire map, see that big drop, as well as you can kind of get that nice wedge along that right-hand side wall. And if you can get that wedge, you can just absolutely dominate your opponent. And honestly, I fear for Hemi at this stage. 2 GGs, definitely raging. Even from the chat, you can tell he's raging. Let's see if he can get it done now in game 4 against Scan when he's down 0-3.
You know, I'm actually quite surprised that Scan has said absolutely nothing, because Scan, I mean, is known for being quite BM, and to just take that from Hemi and not say anything, I mean, Hemi put a little happy face at the end, but I'm really surprised Scan didn't come back with some kind of snappy remark. But anyway, it looks like he is actually going to be going in for a wall-in, and as I said in the last game, wall-ins can be a little bit of liability if you get some early aggressive siege tank play. But it looks like he's not too worried about that. Meanwhile, Hemi putting the barracks kind of at the bottom of his base. This is, I believe, to build just one Marine, and then he's going to lift that and float that out as a scout. Pretty typical Terran move to build that forward barracks.
Definitely indicates he might be thinking about an early factory and more early aggression, because if you're building it forward to float it, that means you're not going to be building Marines. And usually, at least on Othello or other maps, when you're looking at early expansion builds, you'll see the first 4 Marines flood out and then kind of a lift off and take a little bit later in the map. Although I take it back on Tal Cross, he did, in fact, at the forward position, build the barracks, build 4 Marines, and then continue from there. So I guess we'll just have to see him looking too much into it. Meantime, we do see a front door seal with that supply depot on the front of Scan's base, so definitely thinking about hiding, or at least putting Hemi in the dark, making him uncomfortable. And honestly, I don't even think he needs to at this stage. Hemi's got to be extremely uncomfortable just with the results of the first couple matches.
And interestingly, Scan... actually, wait, is he going to build his Marine now? I was going to say he didn't build a Marine. He might just build it now. Yes, there's a Marine. But actually, this wall-in, I don't know if it's SCV tight. I think between the barracks and the depot, you can slide an SCV through, maybe. So you do need that Marine at least to block it. But anyway, it looks like both SCVs are going to go pretty identical scout patterns, just mirrored on different sides of the map. One Marine is out for Hemi, going to chill at the top of the ramp to try and deny the scout. Factory timing is a little bit faster for Hemi. I think because he didn't have to make that wall. Of course, when you make a wall like this, you do sacrifice a little bit of mining time due to the SCV having to move all the way over there. Of course, it's not any kind of game-changing thing, but just little nuances like that are interesting.
Yep. Looks like SCV did manage to bar through that Marine in that top right-hand base, so Scan getting the information he was looking for. Going to end up losing the SCV, but basically saw everything. He's looking at a fast expansion build. He sees that machine shop. He saw the additional Marines produced, and so he knows exactly what he's coping against, and immediately dropping 2 starports in his bottom left-hand corner in response.
Indeed, it is going to be a 2-port Wraith. I think this is the sneakiness that he was trying to hide behind that wall-in 2-port Wraith. Most likely going to build 2 Wraiths and then a control tower for Cloak. And let's see how Heme is going to defend this. He's building a tank right now. I don't know if he goes for standard tanks into expansion, which it looks like he might be doing. He's sending out an SCV. He's saving up 400 minerals. Is it going to be a command center? Yes, it is. Heme could just have a build order loss right now. However, I do think that in the modern TVT, like these siege expand builds, do usually take into account a 2-port Wraith, so he may, if he's playing safe, he should throw down an Armory and Academy, and there indeed is the Armory. I would expect an Academy to come down shortly as well, so he will have some defense against the Wraiths, but I think he'll still take a lot of damage.
In the meantime, Scan taking out all of the Marines, leaving 1 Marine extremely weak on the front door, padding this, another siege tank out, and there is 0 anti-air defense. An Armory is on the way, but 0 air defense otherwise. That absolutely sucks for Heme, and I think you are in fact right. If it wasn't already a build order victory, peeling out those Marines is just making those Wraiths even more effective.
Yeah, I think that was actually a really smart move by Scan. Normally I would say, suiciding the Vulture maybe not so good because you want to use it to deny scouts and stuff, but in this case, taking out those Marines is a huge deal. I mean, Heme, 1 damaged Marine. His Armory is barely finishing now. Let's see if he actually makes a Goliath. But actually the Wraiths are spotted by a Barracks. That's actually huge. Seeing those Wraiths in time is actually going to immediately produce a Goliath. I think otherwise he might even have built a tank. Well, actually, I think if he was playing safe, he might have made a Goliath anyway. But yeah, he's going to really need those because the 2 Wraiths are already in the mineral line. Going to pull a few. Nope, just going to pull that 1 SCV. Going to try and micro in order to save the SCVs. Oh, there's the Marine coming in. Gets sniped immediately.
Oh, yeah, now the Wraith going to work. They need to do a lot of SCVs because this does hurt economically. In the meantime, looks like some Marines actually pushing up and doing some damage to the barracks as well. There's the comsat station that feels so late for Heme in this mid-game. It looks like he's moving around. The SCVs trying to flee everywhere, just try to provide some padding defense by just running around and being hard targets to hit. But the Wraiths just running around, actually not getting a lot of SCV kills. Looking between the 2 of them, it looks like there's only 2 SCV kills total, which is not a huge victory.
I think that's actually one of those is a Marine kill, so I'd say it's only 1 SCV kill, and I think that's in part due to Heme's excellent pulling of only the damaged, or rather the SCVs that were being attacked by the Wraiths. He just kept pulling the individual SCVs. So that was some really nice defense by Heme. Actually, Heme landing his barracks in the back of Scan's base, just so that the Wraiths don't do quite as much damage. But Cloak should be finished quite soon. Looks like it already is finished, so Scan will have 5 pretty soon. No, he's actually stopped Wraith production, so he will have 5 Wraiths pretty soon. He's building a natural command center there, but Heme actually getting a little bit aggressive here. I'm not sure if I agree with this. He's got 2 tanks and 2 Goliaths, 1 Wraith only. Actually, that might just be a rally. But 1 Wraith going into the base. There's actually a starport being made. It does Cloak after taking 1 hit. And Heme immediately putting down a control tower of his own. Is he going for his own Cloaked Wraith or something? Like, I can't imagine him going for dropships when there's so many Wraiths on the field.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he did go for dropships and use the Goliaths to try to support them so he can get siege tanks up on that ridge over the 3rd, or even elevator up with a little bit of protection across that natural. Currently, it looks like only Wraiths in defense for, and I wanted to say Sail again, but I'm not going to. For Scan, it looks like Scan pushing back, and he's actually in position to get it contained, so things might work out a little better here for Heme in Game 4.
And it looks like this turret, I think it will finish in time. Oh, there's a Scan going down anyway. Oh, it looks like the SCV was killed, but so was that Wraith. A Wraith for an SCV, generally not a good trade. Engineering Bay done, probably wants to float that out. Heme does. And building a turret in the back of his main. And he does have a mini position here outside of Scan's base. Scan looks like, managed to get a siege tank up in position. So he should be able to take his natural without too much problem. Actually, building that refinery before the command center is even over, I quite like that. He knows he needs the gas. Actually, Scan is at 500 plus minerals. A little bit surprised. And, a mass SCV transfer there. But a fast third from Heme.
Yeah, fast forward from Heme after having that contain out there. He knows it's going to be very difficult with Wraith alone to press through this. He knows that the Wraith have to stay at home base just because the teeny number of siege tanks.
Oh, what? God! Wow. SCV is coming off the line! Oh, man!
siege, so they're not going to be very effective in doing so. It looks like they are going to peel back a little bit, but they are going to be able to break up that contain. And with enough siege tanks, now those wraiths might be opened up. They actually need to swing back around, try to slow down that third, or do some more economic damage to try to keep Heme slowed down. Because currently, I got to say, Scan not starting off so gloriously.
I think that was a smart move for Scan though, because otherwise if Heme's siege tanks got kind of in range of those top of those minerals, that would be really ugly. But looks like Heme going in a little bit, taking out most of the siege tank. Only one siege tank left for Scan. But it looks like, is he in range of... No, looks like kind of barely out of range. But Scan in a really precarious position right now. Heme might actually take a game off the Monster Terran. Scan, let's see, can he do it? He's pushing up slowly but surely. Wraiths are coming out, but there are 3 Goliaths there, taking out another siege tank. The barracks is doing some nice spawning for Scan.
Looks like Scan, yeah, just being peeled back. He can't press up against this. The siege tanks continuing to encroach slowly but surely. This is the thing, even if Scan doesn't die to this aggression on his front, he's still got that third base up and running. And on top of that, he's going to get another comsat station to work with, and that's really going to neutralize, completely neuter those wraiths up in the air.
Indeed, and I think Scan is in a lot of trouble because Heme's third base is trying to do some micro there. Actually does get that tank due to some siege splash, but Heme's third base is up and running. Scan still on 2 base, losing a lot of wraiths. He's only got 1 wraith left actually. Oh, that wraith actually snipes a Goliath. Oh, is he gonna get it? The last wraith of Scan does go down, and Scan has a lot of idle SCVs at his natural. I don't know why he's not mining with them. Now going to repair the tank and still being AFK with these SCVs. I'm not sure why. Is he planning to attack? Yes! He is planning to go for a final push here. I don't know if that's going to work. He's got 2 siege tanks supporting. A lot of SCVs going out. Actually, 3 siege tanks. It looks like he's going to clean up 2 of the siege tanks, but losing so many SCVs. Oh my god. He might win this battle, but he's gonna take some severe casualties from it.
Oh, yeah, just losing so much of his baseline economy, still mining gas out of that natural expansion, but losing a lot of SCVs, at least able to break some of this pressure. Looks like that missile turret going to burn, and this is where Heme might want to cut his losses, realizes, okay, I got a third base, I've got an economic lead, let me just go ahead and peel back and try to play it from here. And actually, I don't know where his additional siege tank army is. It looks like he's got some additional infrastructure. He definitely has a lot of factories to work with, but where are the siege tanks? I mean, he had that press, lost them there on the front door, and all of a sudden, you see Scan with a superior siege tank count where he should not, by any means, have one. Considering the economic position that Scan's been in, he wasn't even mining at that natural expansion in the interim.
Yeah, I think this is showing a little bit of Heme's multitasking failing, not able to macro while looking at those siege tanks at the front of Scan's main, but instead to make up for it, he's throwing down another command center at the bottom right, which is actually almost finished. His money is actually going down to almost 0 right now, getting both Vulture upgrades and throwing down a couple more factories. He will be going up to 5 factories. So, but here we have 2 dropships out for Scan, but gets spot by a turret. Oh, taking some damage there. They do have 4 dropships. Wow, nice random turrets by Heme. That's actually so smart to do that. Knows that Scan needs to do some kind of counterattack, and since he had the 2 starports, he could go for those drops. So it looks like there will be this drop on this position, as you said in the beginning of the game. This position above the third, but Heme already has siege tanks in position. Gonna take out 2 of Scan's tanks almost immediately. But these last 2 are gonna be able to siege down this refinery with the dropships providing vision. No, looks like only 1 siege tank remaining, and the dropship's gonna fly back over turrets. Is he gonna get it? No, 1 dropship does get away. Is actually gonna spot this base.
Wow, more siege tanks pressing forward. I feel like that bottom right-hand base extremely greedy from Heme. Really need to be reducing attack forces and losing more siege tanks up on that high ground somehow, and a little bit of an exchange. And I only really see 4 siege tanks out in the field, period, for him. Looks like some Goliaths to follow up as well, but